It's July 1st. We've got a new month, and we've got a big aspect in the sky. But boy, I have worked up quite a projection of both sides of Saturn and Mars. Are you ready to go deep? Let's take a look at this together. So at 9:08 this morning Eastern Time is when the exact opposition of Saturn and Mars occurs. Saturn in Aquarius, Mars over in fiery hot Leo. Now this will last for 10 days. So after July 11th, then they will be greater than 8 degrees apart, and this thing will pretty well have been busted up. But for the next about 10 days, we have a hot aspect up in the sky. And I might just mention that as Mars is fading from this square, the moon will be moving into Leo, opposing Saturn. So we're going to have this opposite Saturn ... energy with us for the next couple of weeks. Now, if you're thinking, wait a minute, you're mentioning Mars and Saturn, and oh no, well, let's look at, two sides of every coin. Now, we do have, as we start to pick this apart, Mars is in fiery Leo. So that's hot. And it could be hot-headed. And it could be aggressive. And it could be angry. But Venus is also now in Leo, sweating like Thomas in Dallas in August. But Venus will be closing in, waxing, if you will, applying to Mars in Venus's path through Leo. I wonder, will Venus calm Mars down just a little bit here? The other thing that I can't help but to wonder, for those of you who are in a great relationship, the next 10 days could be some of the hottest lovemaking of the year. And if that happens for you, you're welcome. And don't send me any emails. Hey, I'm just reading the chart. Now, Saturn is, let's pick Saturn apart a little bit here. It is at home of sorts in Aquarius, ancient ruler of Aquarius, and Saturn is in retrograde. So see, right there, we have two things that could temper this aspect right off the bat. We have Venus moving in to give Mars a big kiss, and we have Saturn in retrograde. Now, there are no other planets in Aquarius. Jupiter will be there, but not until this is over. Saturn is in a sextile with Chiron. We talked about that a little bit yesterday when we were talking about that grand trine, but Saturn is in a sextile to Chiron. That brings the karmic hat in. We're going to talk about that in a minute, but there's the karmic piece. But Saturn doesn't have anything else per se aggravating it, except the one other big thing that's part of this is the big T-square with Uranus. So a T-square is when you have two planets opposite each other, like these two are going to be, Saturn and Mars, and then you have another planet that is square or 90 degrees to that line. We're just talking about geometry here. I mean, this is why astrology is so amazing. We talked about that a couple of days ago. All these planets are on the ecliptic, and when they line up like this, magic happens. A T-square is a big aspect because the pinnacle point of that pyramid, think of the base of the pyramid, that's Saturn and Mars, and if we run up to the top of the pyramid, that's Uranus. So it does make it the all-seeing eye, if you will, of this configuration. So that just means that some strange stuff could happen during this time. Expect some of the unexpected. We've already seen a missile strike. Yesterday's headlines indicates that there might be some news today for the Trump Organization coming out of New York. Ironic that how long has that been going on? And now it's going to be formalized. Wow, what timing is that? I mean, don't bet against astrology. So yes, we could see some other things that could come under the umbrella of weird, bizarre, or strange during this time. Okay, let's talk about the shadow side. We're going to talk about both, so don't think that this is going to be just an all-dark projection. You know me better than that. So let's talk about the shadow side so that we get it on the table. What could this aspect mean if it went full-out max shadowy? Well, things like hard work. It could also be a reflection of a karmic past, particularly the dark areas, such as those governed by Saturn or Mars. So we would be talking about death, destruction, delay, war, violence, sexual perversion, anger, just that need or want or provocation to fight. Any or all of that could be a full interpretation of the shadowy side of this aspect. But let's flip the coin. Let's look at the positive side. Let's look at the opposite side. What could this give us that we would want to build into our lives? Well, it could be a really strong time to lay foundations. It could be a great time to really get things done to map out a solid path for the future. I'm thinking mid-year evaluation. What do I need to change? What could I do to finish really strong this year? What particular, you use a Saturn word here, what structures would need to be put in place? It could also be an equally good time to resolve or to clean up or to reverse some karma. This might be a really good time to grow in wisdom. I mean, if you have something that you need to learn or want to learn or are in the process of learning, this would be a good time to step that up. And I'm not talking about learning from a hard lesson here. I'm talking about truly learning on from the positive side, immersing yourself in a book of wisdom or an audio book of wisdom. Wink, wink. But think about your duty. What would you need to do? What actions would you need to take, parentheses Mars, in order to lay a better foundation? Oh, here's another good one. What about boundaries? You having trouble setting boundaries? Well, maybe under this, you could try setting up something new. So it really determines or begs the question, which side of this are you on? If you're on the shadow side, use it as a time to reverse that karma. Be looking at what you could do to impact the situation in order to neutralize or reverse that karmic situation. On the positive side, lay the foundation, put down the structure, and just get done what needs to be done in order to move things forward for the rest of the year. There's the legacy piece of Saturn. And, if you wanted to take it one big step further, you always think about Saturn and legacy as what might you do or change or add that would set you up for the legacy that you will have when you incarnate next. Maybe it's not about a museum or a foundation that would survive you. It's about what you are going to step into next time you're here. Think about that one, too. All right, we will watch this together over the next 2 weeks. I hope you have a great day. See you back tomorrow for TGI Friday.